Stamp duty is therefore a wealth tax that hurts the poor. Left-wing politics being blinded by the politics and envy.
That's because most people in poverty in Britain are in work. They earn their poverty. And we have to subsidise low wages because bosses won't pay their wages properly. The other problem is private landlords charging rip-off rents.
Here we have yet again another example of a left-wing commentator claiming to be sticking up for the poor by basically laying into employers and landlords, stating that these people are horrible because they're exploiting the poor. However, he's missing out some very, very key details, namely the high taxes that employers and landlords are subjected to. These high taxes mean that employers aren't able to pay employees as much, and also landlords are forced into charging higher rents. Employers are subject to national insurance contributions, which means if you take someone on minimum wage earning £25,000 a year, the employer actually has to attribute £28,000 to that job because they have to pay £3,000 in national insurance contributions. Therefore, out of the £28,000 that employer sets aside for that job, they can only pay the employee £25,000 due to the taxation that is put upon them. In the same way, landlords are charged a higher level of stamp duty compared to people who buy a home to live in. To therefore get a certain level of return on their investment, landlords have to charge a higher rent to take into account the extra cost that stamp duty puts upon them. What you've heard that left-wing commentator say is another example of left-wing politics being blinded by the politics and envy, having the sole goal to punish people who they deem to be rich, such as employers and landlords. And unfortunately, by being blinded by just imposing high taxes on employers and landlords, they end up hurting the poor. My recommendation would be to reduce national insurance contribution and reduce the level of stamp duty for landlords so that this can then be passed on to the poor in the form of higher wages and lower rents, and therefore you work with the rich to help the poor.